지금 다운로드 받으세요.
Seed is looking a little bit better too.
Yeah.
So I feel like SOS should be able to take this one. I definitely did vote for him.
He
that's for sure.
should be able to take it, but, you know, he has been playing weird. Like, I feel like he's been relying on DTs so heavily. Like, he keeps getting into losing positions, and he snipes an observer and kills your arm with DTs. Like, how many times have we seen that from SOS in the past 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. So I definitely give Seed a higher chance than I normally would. But SOS is a Pro League killer. This is the guy that will come out and all-kill every team in a row if he needs to.
And he really just shows up like that on some days. But so far, his record, I think, is something like 7-6 or 7-7. It's really unimpressive. It's un-SOS-like. You know, I remember, I think it was last season or the season before that, he was tied with Hero for most wins at 20.
Yeah.
You know, he was like 20-6 or something, and it's like, well, you know, what's going on this season? What aren't you doing right this time around?
Yeah, he does seem to be in a small slump at the moment, whereas Seed, you know, he did make it into Code S already. He's playing pretty well overall. Like, you know, he stepped down from being a playing coach and instead just has become a pro gamer again. And that was kind of like a funny thing, because I'm like, oh yeah, a playing coach, that kind of makes sense. You know, Seed, he's a GSL champion. This is a guy that has been around for a very long time. He's quite experienced. The type of guy that would make a good coach. But
older player, too.
Yeah.
You know, the younger players will look up to him, right? He has all these accolades, I guess, with the GSL win.
But now that he's back to being a full-time player, he must be doing really well in the practice house, wouldn't you think?
To go from that and then come back, there must be something that's going right? Or maybe he was just like, no, actually, I really want to focus. And then if you go as far as becoming half a coach, and then you're like, wait, no, I changed my mind. You're really going to be driven to go towards that one direction once again, to go towards being a player. Maybe he's practicing really hard. And generally, when we see new players come up, and or just, you know, mediocre players get to the next level, they always just say, I'm practicing more, things are going well in the house, you know, my teammates are helping me out, I'm practicing a lot with my teammates, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's the reason for his recent success.
It would be a big deal for him if he can win this match. Do have to say that. Them being down 0-1 right now, you don't want to put too much pressure on your next two players. Look at that SOS face. So ridiculous. Oh, man. Yeah, look at that. 5-4, not so good. 1-4 for Seed. Ouch.
And 0-3 against Protoss.
Yeah, not so good.
No shortage of Protosses here at Pro League. So
that's an understatement.
Yeah. SOS 4-1 here against Seed.
Well, you know, I give Seed more than a 25% chance or a 20% chance that those stats would maybe lead you to believe. I think he definitely has a chance here. The map is Frozen Temple, and I really felt like, first off, this is where SOS lost against Trust.
Yeah.
And this is also where in his Code A match against Trap was kind of crushing him, but he came back with
I remember that game. Yeah. All right, well, guys, let's jump into the game and see what these players have got prepared. Got some ravenous fans out here. And up in the top left, it is SOS, $$, Down here in the bottom right, in the teal, it is Seed. He's got some nice hair today. I think Wolf would approve.
No doubt, no doubt. By the way, just a kind of cool thing I want to bring up. Tastes and I were talking about this the other day. Seed was kind of like the beta test of SOS back in the very beginning of his career. Like, he was the one tricking people and playing like heavy mind games. Like he won a GSL game once by hallucinating an immortal. No one had even, because you used to have to research hallucination.
Yeah.
No one would even get it because it was just crappy.
Yeah.
But he like killed somebody by hallucinating immortals, faking that out. Like, it was the craziest stuff he was doing way back in the day. Obviously, SOS has brought that like 10 levels above what Seed has ever done, but Seed definitely was a similar type of player at the beginning of his career.
It's funny because SOS actually did that as well. The hallucinated Immortal. When Immortal pushes were very strong, he just hallucinated a bunch of Immortals, made it look like he was going for it, forced the Terran to make a bunch of bunkers and took a really early third.
Yeah.
And just made the Terran look silly.
Yeah.
I think it was someone really good too, like TY.
Well, you know, I'm sure he did that, and everyone was like, whoa, SOS, he's so smart. But Seed actually literally invented that move.
Yeah.
So, years before SOS was even playing StarCraft 2, by the way. He was still playing StarCraft 1 at that time. But
It's true.
yeah, so
Well,
not saying he got it from him, but still, it makes the matchup a little bit interesting.
Yeah, for sure. These players, similar mindsets in terms of, you know, what they want to do when they're playing StarCraft, how they want to play the game. We do have a pylon out on the map, and it's in a weird spot because it's going to be scouted in the main that there's a pylon missing.
Yeah.
So Seed is going to know immediately something's up, but it could just be a mind game. You know, we're talking about mind games where it's like he's not going to put anything there. He's just going to hide a pylon so that Seed freaks out.
And he will freak out, too, right? He maybe even saw that the probe came from a funny angle, so definitely could go looking for this pylon. But either way, this is going to make him play more defensively, I would say. You have to assume the worst, right? Like, this could be a Robo. This could be a Stargate out there.
Just Chrono boosting out that Mothership core. Just wants to play it defensive here. Goes for the Stalkers first as well. All of that going to be very good against Oracles if he needs to defend against something that, you know, maybe he thinks it's a proxy Oracle build here. Oh, SOS has to be careful. He's actually going to cancel that. Nicely done.
You know what? This is like kind of interesting that he's going into 4 Adepts. Like, I guess he's just trying to really keep Seed back while he takes this Nexus, but Seed is making enough Stalkers at this point that if he did put on some pressure, SOS wouldn't have much to say about that. He doesn't really have a great way to stop it.
Yeah, 4 Stalkers on the map, and he definitely just have to rely on his Mothership core to help out with that. And it looks like SOS going to get the earlier... Oh, he doesn't block the Adepts from getting in. He's not going to shield too much, but he can get a bit of damage here.
Oh, 3 probes going down. That's pretty reasonable. It does get that overcharge as well. 2 more coming in now.
And he's throwing these Adepts away. He's getting some damage, and these guys are very low on their probes, of course. So it is going to hurt, but also SOS losing 4 Adepts this early on against, you know, Seed, who's got 4 Stalkers still on the map.
Yeah. Seed just has, like, a higher quality army by even more now. Like, were 5 probes worth those 4 Adepts right there?
I don't know, you know, especially if we see like a blink follow-up with all the Stalkers on the map here. Seed is going to have a pretty strong push coming across, and it looks like he wants to begin moving out and pressuring, poking the front. He's still got these Stalkers in the main.
Yeah, this is due to that hidden pylon. These 3 Stalkers sitting there, he just doesn't know what could be coming, so he's playing very defensively still, kind of into SOS's trap.
Yeah, especially when you see the, you know, heavy Adept harass and just the huge committal to getting economic damage done. A common follow-up is the Oracle. You know, you go in there, you try to get as many kills as possible with your Adepts, and then you go in with the Oracle and try to kill more.
Yeah, yeah.
And
it really looks like that's what he's trying to do. And when you're sacrificing the Adepts, you're like, okay, yeah, these Adepts, maybe this isn't worth it, but when that Oracle comes in and kills 5 more, suddenly you're dead.
Exactly. And you see him committing once again, going to get 3 more probes, and this should go down here. There it goes.
All right, both of them getting blink at the moment. More, like, the amount of Adepts that this guy has made is kind of crazy, but SOS is complementing his army by making a bunch of Immortals, whereas Seed is sitting only on Stalkers. So Seed is going to have complete map control. He's going to have the ability to possibly do damage to SOS coming up, but SOS is kind of making a stronger later game army by having these Immortals made.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the game of MC versus Zest, which was also on this map, where MC put huge focus on just making as many Immortals as possible, and that kept him alive even when he was behind. And then eventually when they fought, you know, near maxed, that heavy Immortal account really helped out MC. So I like what SOS is doing for sure.
Dude, this is really such strong play by SOS. The way that he continually sends in Adepts, it's just like keeping Seed back the entire time. Yeah. It's allowing for SOS to get constant scouting intel. He continually makes these Immortals. When he's hitting 4 and 5 Immortals, the Stalker count of Seed is just going to be annihilated if he ever fights.
Yeah, and it looks like he wants to push up here, but there's already 2 Immortals with one other one about to finish. And he should be totally fine. Let's see if Seed wants to commit here. Guardian Shield is popped as well as an overcharge, and Seed just immediately has to back off. Could try to go for some harass if he has an Observer over here.
Yeah, here it comes. Oh, wait, no, that's actually not his, is it? Oh,
No,
wait,
it
yeah,
is.
it is.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, 3 Immortals
Come
out now.
on.
There's no way you're fighting that army.
Like, maybe you can blink in the main or something, but that's a little bit risky. He does snipe that Observer at the cost of 2 Stalkers.
Yeah, definitely not worth it. We do see a Dark Shrine here coming up for SOS. At first I thought that was Seed. I'm like, oh, this is cool. You're sniping Observers and then you're going DTs. You know, there's some kind of thing, but actually it's just SOS is going for it. And he keeps fighting here. He needs to run away.
Oh, you know what? There were actually Adepts, it looks like, in his natural during that exact moment. There was like a red blinking light down there. So that was really well done by SOS, and suddenly he has killed off the one advantage that Seed really had as far as army went.
Yeah, I mean, now SOS is just massively ahead. The only thing that Seed has over him is an earlier third base, but that's totally fine. I mean, SOS is going to get this up. His army is really what matters. He's just so far ahead. His economy was ahead for a long time. He was ahead by like 12 probes, I believe, because of all the harass that he did with the Adepts.
And now that he caught all those Stalkers, like, where is Seed really at? If you look at the armies, the amount of Immortals that SOS has out just makes him in a better position right now. As simple as that.
Yeah. It is 3-2. SOS actually put that Immortal production on hold for a bit, but still ahead.
A little bit of a scout coming up. SOS poking over to the other side of the map. Don't forget he does have Blink as well. Nice snipe.
Oh. Some free sentries just strolling on through. The wrong place at the wrong time.
SOS has lots of terrain issues with this map. Like, remember when he lost a trust? He just kind of misclicked the Stalkers, and now we see those sentries go like that? Ouch.
This is kind of sneaky, getting a DT into the main, and he keeps one outside. No doubt going to send that one to the third base. Here it goes. So just continuous harass the entire game from SOS. That's the name of the game here.
And the Harass doing a pretty good job. Look at this. Comes down and gets the sentries of his opponent. Some good force fields. And in the meantime, this DT ripping through everything.
He's looking like Bravo there. He lets his entire mineral line die nearly. And still having trouble here. He's making cannons now to help out. But the damage has been done. I mean, 13 probes. The army size now for SOS is much greater.
Yeah, he's got like a better economy as well. He's got a better composition and better upgrades. Everything is really going his way. This is such a tough game for Seed to come back into.
I feel like SOS actually could have just won the game right there, but he's like, no, there's no reason for me to, take. Why would I take the 90% chance to win instead of the 100% chance to win?
Well, that's what the charge in Templar Archives is, right? He's going to have +2 attack even when this happens. He's taking that fourth base to make sure he can't be behind in any way. What does Seed do to try to come back here?
I don't know. So, I just love that all the best players now are all playing like this, using the Artosa style, where it's like, when you get ahead, get more ahead. Just keep on doing this. And we're seeing it pretty consistently now. Some of the weaker players just like to go in and throw their army away and throw their advantage away. But not SOS, not Zest. None of these big guys do that. TY as well.
They want to make sure of their victory, and that's definitely a good way to do it. Look at what he's building into. It's so frightening. Seed doesn't have the economy to do this. Look at that. He made Blink Stalkers. I can't blame him. He knows he's behind, and he needs to get value. And one of the ways to try to do that is active units like Blink Stalkers, but this army coming for him is just infinitely better than what he has. This is not even close.
The second this hits, I mean, you can make as many pylons as you want. You're going to have to make like a 2-pylon thick wall to keep this army out.
And you have to have like 4 mothership cores for that. Okay, he baits 2, and then he can go back and bait 2 more, and then he attack moves.
He's got a Warp Prism with this too, to immediately reinforce. And you guys can see the army sizes there in the top left. Lots of Zealots.
Misclicking here. Targeting down a Stalker that blinks away. You never want to do that. Moving in once again. He does have that mothership core, so he probably can make SOS run away again.
And by the way, it is +2 against +1 here in favor of SOS, so he's got that going for him as well.
Well, Seed is doing what he's supposed to here. He's trying to whittle units down, but I don't think it'll be enough. He's attacking in at this moment. Another overcharge does go down. The Immortal is dealing huge amounts of damage. One does get picked off here for Seed, and he just doesn't have enough of anything.
He's just on the run. He can't fight against this army. Not much he can do at this point. Kind of the follow-up to what happened earlier on. A very nice game played here by SOS.
Yeah.
Nice try by Seed hanging on, but just not enough there. GG.
That was really cool. The pylon just kind of faking it out, making Seed sit back. It was a good call you made with the throwing away the Adepts, making it really look like an Oracle is on the way. That allowed him to just kind of be greedy at home and play with almost no units until much later on in the game.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Well, I thought today was going to be a bit closer. Our first matchup was 3-0. Now it's 2-0 in the second one. But this third game is going to be sick. Cure versus Gumio, a TBT between these two guys. Oh, man. This might actually be the best match of the night.
It could be, actually. You know, these are both top-tier Terrans. Of course, Cure got a round of 4 last season in GSL. Did get wrecked by TY. Gumio overall is really coming into his own finally, which is weird because he's been around since literally the very beginning of StarCraft 2 and was always good. But he's getting so much playtime being on MVP. He feels like the ace of that team, if I could be so bold.
He's the only guy that consistently gets some wins here for his team, and that makes him the ace for sure. Definitely the best player on this team right now. But guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break first before we jump into Cure versus Gumio. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.